Good afternoon and welcome to Herman University, where we never lose because we're always learning. It's been a tough couple of weeks because we lost some dear people and friends that we have associated many years competing against with Carlos Vieira, and also being associated with Barry Berman from I can't tell you how many U.S. Opens, but I've been to a lot. Even when he was had his first one in his pool room where there was only 16 players, all elite players, and but I remember it being just a few players to what it is today, where the field's been extended to 160. And before that, we would get a 256 player boards. So Barry brought the U.S. Open 9-ball to a level that not many are going to be able to match. We hope that the transition, of course, to Pat Fleming is going to be supported, because it's not going to be an easy chore to try to make a profit in promoting any kind of major pool event. You know, I'll be at the racetrack today. A friend of mine bought a horse, and so she's only raced twice, and this will be her third time racing. But I couldn't help but think about the times that I went to seminars about buying horses, and them saying that if you get into this sport because you think that you're going to make money, buy this horse, he's going to make you lots of money, that's just dreamland. You have to be able to take a loss in order to promote, or in order to be involved with promoting pool. This has been a struggle for me because I have done this my whole life. This is what I have only done. So to me, it's always been about how can I give back to these guys that are trying to do what I did, and let them know that when they get to be 65, they're going to see why I'm doing what I do. And that's trying to educate them in getting on the books, being involved with the system, trying to create and promote something that is going to create jobs within our industry. And we can see how difficult jobs are when we see the competition between all these low deflection shaft companies, or cue makers and case makers, all battling for this business, which is kind of like a small circle of people that have passion for the sport, and everybody's trying to compete against each other for this business. Does it have to be that way? I think that we're in a situation where we have a sport that's being presented in a way that's not a good presentation. If we're presenting liquor, and we're presenting loud music, and we're presenting all of this silly stuff with the game, and that's what people relate to. They relate. This is how somebody like who hasn't got anything to do with pool at all, they look at it like this. They see pool in an establishment that is gambling, drinking, drugs, loud music, and food that's not healthy. That's like the guaranteed, that's what you're walking into. It's hard to sell that to somebody that has a big company like Reebok or Gillette or New Balance, companies that are in my area who I deal with, Colgate. It's impossible to present that. And that's disturbing because all that's happening is that you run these events, once they're over, the same situation again. Nowhere to go, nothing to survive off of. You just barely made ends meet. One guy made money, another guy didn't. But I'll tell you, I went to a tournament in Connecticut and I recognized something very clearly there. I recognized that Mika Immonen, Thurston Holman, Alex Pagulayan, Dennis Akulo, Warren Kiamko, just off the top of my head, of the 20 players, we immediately had 5, as soon as I walked in the door, who weren't American. I was thinking to myself, this is a U.S. Open straight pool event and one pocket. Yet, when you looked at the entries in it, you couldn't find actually an American player in the event other than the locals, a couple of locals, of course, with Jason Mikas and Matt Tetro. Again, they're local. There was a few other locals, and then there was a few seniors. And then, of course, Shane Van Boeing was there and Corey Dool. But I couldn't help but think that this is a major event, and it did pay pretty good. Not enough to live off of course. But where are we going? If you want to do this for a living, if you want to bring young children into the sport and be behind young children in the sport, I think it's way more important to focus on the seniors, way more. Because if the seniors are not successful, then why would you want to send young people into something that has a dead end to it? So to me, I'm really focused on the seniors. I was glad to see the seniors that played in that straight pool event. But I couldn't help but think about the financial damage it was actually doing to these people, because it was $600 to get in and so forth and so on, and they had no chance. You know, it was one of these situations where it was strictly a donation. Back in the olden days, you wanted to play in the U.S. Open straight pool, you had to win a qualifier, and then you would get invited to play in it. You would have to actually qualify to get in the event, which makes sense. And that gives it a high credential standard. But while I was in Connecticut, I did talk with Mark Griffin and tried to ask him about what he thought in regards to you know, promoting a league and promoting a tour. I said I might be interested in doing a tour, and I might be interested in doing a league where I wanted 50% women involved. And Mark Griffin and I sat, and I don't know if I am really saying anything that anybody doesn't know, and I don't really like to talk out in public about a private conversation that I have with a promoter, but I wanted to learn a few things about how much it would cost to, are these hotels, you know, charging to run these tournaments, and this kind of thing. So I was learning, and the reason why is because I have a casino, racetrack. I already have a place that I can run an event out of. So I wanted to know what would be the normal negotiating. And it was really interesting because he had, I had asked him, if the room cost any money. And he said to me, no. And that's a big answer. That's a really big answer. But there is some attachments to that in the sense that there is a kickback in the rentals of the hotel rooms. A pretty good example is Turning Stone. They give you this beautiful room, but it's contingent upon you staying at the hotel room for X amount of days at this X amount of price. So if there's 128 players like they get at Turning Stone, and the casino is guaranteed to rent out 100 rooms at, let's say, 150 minimum per person that's going to be in this tournament, that's going to spend at that casino, that's going to far exceed the 25,000 added. That's for sure. Somebody there is going to lose probably 100,000, and maybe even his house. But one thing's for sure, that casino isn't giving up much at all, because it's contingent upon that high price of the rooms. Now, having said that, we used to have a tournament in Reno that was 25,000 added. It was twice a year. Now, Reno's quite far from Boston. For people in the West Coast, it's a car drive. But it wasn't that expensive to fly, although that was a murderous trip. The hotel room was $11 a night for 2 beds and $19 on the weekends. And it was 25,000 added, and it was $100 to get in, and there was no membership fees, there was no other fees. And first place was always like $12,000. And then there'd be like, 10,000 even was like second. And I couldn't help but think, now, mind you, we had 200 to 300 players. We always had a 256-man board. It was always full. But I can't help but think about, that was in the early 90s. Today, the deals that are being cut for the players is so bad that it's impossible to make any money. It's virtually impossible. I mean, think about a guy like Oscar who may want to play at Turning Stone, and he got to go cross country, and he's right now has to pay very high rates, very high. It's crazy. So I tried to talk with Mark about, what do you think, would you be interested in putting a tour together? He says, well, we need sponsors. I says, well, I have sponsors, but I have nothing to present them. And I said, assuming we had sponsors, what would you want to do? He says, he's so discouraged about the players that he doesn't want anything to do with the tour, because it's going to require too much work, too much fighting, too much bickering that would probably kill him. So he don't want to be bothered anymore. And then I says, well, what about a league? And because he's really big into leagues, as I am. Because if you notice the Pro Bowlers Tour, well, if you haven't noticed, within the last 2 years, it's now the PBA, not tour, it's the PBA league. And there's 6 players on a team representing each state, where these guys are going to make a salary plus bonuses depending where they finish. This is a lot to do with what I wanted to do with pool, getting all of these states to get the players in their state to get back and start a league. Because that makes sense, because we need some kind of pension. We need some kind of way to fall back on if we get sick, if we get hurt, or if we just aren't well, or we're just not winning. We still have to be able to get by. You know, Alex I know very well, and I did talk to him as well, you know, after he won. I know Alex a very, very, very long time. Alex knows me a very, very, very long time. And when I say knows me, I am about surviving in this industry. I am not one that is going to support a bar so that the pool can survive. I'm the wrong guy. And when you're pushing booze with my sport, it's not really something that's going to work for me. That's not, I've been there, done that. And when I think about Barry, I think about the liquor. I think about the addiction that is, and how it destroys families. My father was a drunken pool player. I know all about it. I know about the abuse of the highest level, especially one that is in the pool room and is gambling, and the venom level is so high. It's absurd. And I was at the Super Billiard Expo, and I couldn't help but notice it was just like a really difficult struggle. A really difficult struggle. And I was looking at Monica Webb, and I was thinking to myself, okay, she's single. Gee, she don't look right. She don't look healthy. Karen Kaur, really dear friend of mine. First time she came to the United States, she was living in Boston. That's when I met her. That's when our relationship started, and it's been that way ever since. She was so sick. It was ridiculous at the US Open. She told me she had been just very sick. So this friend of hers, an elderly, disabled lady actually, the lady that you saw with Karen, was taking care of her. And Karen has had a long reputation of having a very bad back and sciatic and this stuff. But this was not related to that. So then I see her again at the Super Billiard Expo. Now mind you, she won the event, but she's very sick. She lost 22 pounds between the time I saw her at the US Open to when I saw her at the Super Billiard Expo. That is extremely dangerous. That's somebody that didn't want to lose 22 pounds, but is losing a lot of weight fast. Pool is very stressful when you don't get anything if you don't win. You actually lose money. You know, I mean, people go to work, even if they work at Burger King or McDonald's or Walmart. They go to work and they're guaranteed to make some money. Now, mind you, they're not getting rich. But what they do with that money could make them rich, but at least they're making money. In pool, you aren't guaranteed to make any money. You're actually capable of losing a lot of money. This is why you see so many players that are getting sponsored, because it's impossible for them to pay their way. And if you can't pay your way and you're getting sponsored, or you have a partner, you can't do it without a partner. Now you got a partner, now you completely got no chance of making any money, even if you did make money. The problem with gambling is you could win 100, and I've done this so many times it's ridiculous. I would have $5 or $10 in my pocket, and I would build that up to be like $1,000. Many times $1,000, $1,200. Not much more, but that would be like a number that I would kind of reach quite often, because I would win like 100 matches in a row. I would match up in a way that, you know, I couldn't lose. I'd play somebody one pocket that didn't know how to play one pocket, and I made believe I couldn't play one pocket, and that's what one pocket's all about anyhow, is hustling the guy, and it's a gambling game 100%. Because if you can beat somebody in one pocket, you can win by just this much in a photo finish all the time, to making him think that he could win. You could play a stupid safety, and he sees it and he thinks to himself, wow, what a dummy safe that was. And yet it's just a bait. This is what I made my living doing, baiting in people that thought they could beat me and thought that I wasn't that good. Of course they thought that, because that's exactly how they are losing their money to me. They're not going to lose all their money to me unless they think they can beat me. So I got to make the presentation that they can beat me by playing stupid. And I did that forever, because that's why I was playing pool. I was playing pool to make a living. I never played this game to excel, ever. It was strictly to make money. That's what I got brought into through my father. Gambling and so forth and so on. I was playing ridiculous high stakes at a ridiculous young age. When I think of being 15, my father was pushing me to play people for a lot of money. It was ridiculous. But that's what I was dealing with. And so I got a really good view of what gambling was all about. And the problem with gambling is this, is every time I got to that $1,000 point, I was still gambling. I would win 100 matches in a row. But it didn't matter, because I was still gambling. All I had to do was lose one time, and I was back to square one, which was at 0. And that's what's wrong with gambling. Doesn't matter how much you're winning, it's irrelevant. Gambling means you go till you lose it all. That's the reason why it's illegal in most states, especially in sports. One of the sayings we had when I was in the world of that gambling arena is 98% of gambling matches in pool were won before they even started. And that was so true. There's no way I could afford to lose. If I lose, I don't eat. How could I afford to lose? You can't. That's what they're dealing with. If I lose, I don't eat. I don't have a place to stay. I certainly got no gas. I might have money to get on the bus or the train or whatever. Now, you know, Alex is, you know, a lot of the Filipinos that are over here that, you know, I mean, look, let's face it, they're going to win all the money all the time, every time, and once in a blue moon, somebody else is going to get lucky. Now, I know that Santos was a very good friend, because he lived here in Connecticut and stayed with me many times. He always said he was going to live here in the United States, he was going to bring his family and so forth and so on. And I've had this discussion with Warren, and obviously Dennis Aculo wanted to do that when he was with John French. That's what that 10-year deal was all about. Because what they do is they get a 10-year visa if they're employed in the United States. And because John French agreed to an employment with Dennis, that's what made that 10-year, that's what that 10-year deal was all about. Well, anyhow, Alex now is in that situation where he's kind of making this, because what can you do? You want to stay here illegally and bounce back and forth from the Philippines, or what do you want to do? Let's put it that way. What do you want to do? So he has to make a choice. Just like Mika Immonen, Thurston Holman, those guys don't get free rides. And Jason Shaw's a little bit different because he's married to an American. But he wants to stay here. He wants to stay here. I don't know. I hope it's the mail company. I sent the queue, got to go on to Taiwan. It's a joke. My point is this. Alex wants to stay here. He's getting that 10-year visa. I don't want to get into all the personal things about it, but he needs to be employed here to kind of stay here. That's part of like the deal on the visa, is you really got to be somebody paying into the system, somebody that's being a benefit to have here, not somebody that's a deficit to have here. This is one of the most important criterias. So he's gonna move here. I don't know where he's moving to, because I certainly would like nothing more than for him to move here in Boston and also go into business with him. But that's not actually giving him a job, because I don't actually own a business to give him employment. One of the things that Alex has done most of his life has been gambling and gambling and gambling, but he's growing up. He's realizing he's got a family, and he's actually figuring out what road he needs to take and in what direction he needs to go. And he's now finally there. Forget about how he plays pool. Forget about how I play pool. Forget about how anybody plays pool. That's not what it's about. It's about how do we support our family when we get older, how are we going to secure ourselves with disability, or if I get sick, or any of these things that can happen. Look it. It's been a long time where I've been preaching all of this. And a lot of people say to me, well, you don't have a lot of viewers, you know, nobody watches your show. Every one of these players watch my show. Every one of them. They're not here live, none of them. They will watch the show on a record, and mind you, only they're the ones watching it, because this directly is directed towards them. The respect that they have for me is because of my age and where I've been. And I know I've competed against all them. They know who I am. They know where I've been. I don't care whether anybody thinks I'm any good or not. I came out of this sport alive, number one, unaddicted, number two, although I was addicted, and I'm 65. That's a lot of years' experience. And the respect these guys have is because I talk about exactly what I'm talking about. Because when they get to be 65, there is not going to be a check there for them. They aren't going to have what they need. What do they do if they get sick? You're going to live here 10 years. What are you going to do if you get sick? You're not going to pay into the system. One of the key things about collecting Social Security, by the way, is you have to be employed for 10 years to qualify for Social Security. These guys didn't know that. If I don't do this show, if I don't tell them this, they got no idea. You're talking to guys in their 20s and 30s here. It's not like they're 50 and 60. They don't get it. They don't know anything about it. But those are the key numbers. 10 years. Because if you pay into the system for 10 years, you then are going to be able to collect Social Security. You're going to be eligible to collect Social Security for the rest of your living life. Way more you're going to get back than what you're going to put in. Because most people are employed for 50, my wife's 25 years at the university. So she's going to get a good Social Security check. Certainly makes mine look sick. Mine looks sick because I didn't do these things. I didn't pay attention. I didn't pay attention. But anybody out there that has a pool room, one of the other things is, you know, I spend a lot of time with Jose Perica. Perica at the time before he met me, he was a really crazy gambler. And I was telling him, look at Jose, what you should be doing is teaching. That's where you're going to guarantee make money. You don't have to get involved gambling and getting into all this ridiculousness. You're going to ruin your health as well. You're too old to be gambling anyhow. And you could be teaching. You could be giving back. This goes for every one of these Filipino players, whether it's Warren Quiamco, Alex Pagulayan. Those guys are ready to make the change. Because where are they most of the time? Where are they playing pool? In the United States. Who's your U.S. Open one pocket champion? Alex Pagulayan. Who's your U.S. Open, U.S. champion straight pool? Dennis Akula. Well, if they're going to hold that crown, they want to be here. This is where they're making their money. Also, they don't want to be in a situation where they're making big money and they're not really involved in the system and they're back and forth, and then all of a sudden they have to transport some money, blah, 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 and then they're past this, the visas aren't in order, and all of this kind of stuff that's constant. And that's not a way to live, especially when you have family. And the last thing they want to do is be in a situation where they can't ever come back here because they illegally entered or overdid their stay. Now, having said all that, you know that Alex is here on a 10-year visa. Well, if you don't know it, you know it now. And he needs a job. And he's willing to be a house pro instructor. I don't think you can get any better. As a matter of fact, I'm positive you can't. Alex is so good at education in the game that that's exactly where he belongs. He don't need to be gambling and banging heads with Scott Frost for 4 days. And it's ridiculously unhealthy for both of those two guys. Neither one of them deserve that, should have to do that. Now, if they want to play a exhibition match and it's one, race to 10 in one pocket that you do in one day, okay, because that's like a seminar. We all learn what we can watch. But Barry Berman's loss is going to be heavy, because Pat didn't have all the connections. Pat isn't familiar with getting this and getting that done and making sure this is done and going to this contact and that contact. That's not what Pat did. And without Barry around, it's going to make Pat's job a lot tougher. He needs a lot of help with experts to connect everything together now. And it's not going to be easy. And I'm sure he's not even thinking about it, because I asked him. He's worried about it, for sure, because Barry always took a loss. And he's worried about going from making money now to losing money. So it's a tricky situation that's transpiring, and I know I'm going to be at the U.S. Open. I'm going to try and get as many booths rented out as possible. I hope to have one myself. Luckily enough, Mr. Dominiak's been working on a break jump cue that I have now. Haven't had a chance to use it, but I will today. Also, I have the brand new Duramuth balls out there today too. So I haven't had a really good shot at it, but we're going to play the U.S. Open rules and stuff. And one of the things that make the U.S. Open 9-ball is it's the most prestigious tournament in the world in 9-ball. I mean, every pool player, the title they want to have is U.S. Open 9-ball. That's it. It may not be the most prize money, but yet it is pretty good. We're talking $40,000, and this year it'll be, I believe, 50, because the field's been extended to 160 players. With 160 players at $1,000 entry, I mean, I can't wait for the event. The event will be internationally supported by every WPA top-ranked player will be at this year's U.S. Open. That's for sure. Copigny, everybody. It's definitely an event that you want to make sure that you go to. And I believe the vending will pick up quite a bit. The facility is outstanding. The hospitality in that place is fabulous. The restaurant right on the water, outstanding. They have a few buffets and special dinners that are fabulous events. I mean, I went last year. I went to all the events, all the dinners and stuff, and I just had a fabulous time. So I really look forward to going back. I hope to be sponsoring at least one player, hopefully a couple, but one or two players at least. I want to manage to get in the event. I'm hoping Johan Chua can get over here, but it's, again, if you don't have a tax ID number or you don't have a social security, when you back if you put a foreign player in, you're subject to a very, very high tax. It's like 33 1/3% is taxed if you don't have a tax ID number, or if you don't have a social security number. Social security number is really the key, and then you don't have to worry too much. The guy's already you know, paying his taxes, he's already registered. But somebody that doesn't, it really becomes a problem sponsoring a player. And I probably stay away from that just because of that reason. I ran into trouble with Ralph's okay on that, but I don't want to get into all that. Anyhow, this is the new cue by Dominiac that I had him work on. I told him that I've been seeing these break jump cues out there, and they're like $600, and they're not that good. I think we can build a better cue. So I had Billy working on this for me, and it wasn't, I guess, the easiest thing in the world because it took him longer than expected. But this is a break jump cue, and what we have here is a Purple Heart shaft with a black ferrule and a phenolic tip. This is an extremely stiff shaft. Mind you, it's a radial pin. As you come down here, I have a spliced, 8-spliced butt, which is a combination of straight curly maple and straight maple from the joint to the top of the wrap area, where you might call the balance point. At that balance point where the 8-spliced ends here, it breaks into a unilock so that you're able to get this off immediately if you're on the clock. Then the bottom of the butt is a combined Purple Heart and curly maple. Also, it's 8-spliced, connected with the unilock. And this break cue here is very light, believe it or not, very light. So that's it right there. Purple Heart, 8-spliced, curly maple. Up here it's curly and straight maple, making this forearm very light and really able to hit them pretty good. I haven't had a chance, just got it, so I haven't had a chance to really work with it, but I can tell just by putting it in my hand it's going to be pretty good. A lot better than what I've had. Now these are the Duramith balls. These are the 100% resin balls that you're starting to see more and more of this and less of the Super Pro Aramith. And all of the balls that you saw at the Super Billiard Expo and the pro events, they were using the Duramith balls, which kind of has a centennial look to it, so you know they're the Duramith when you see the black circle around the balls. Now, I'm also with a brand new measle ball that also comes out of Simonis Aramith. And this is a ball that they were complaining about because they were using the original ball that comes with the set, which I also have, but I'm not using because I had also was able to get this ball. Ivan sent me this ball with it. And a lot of players were complaining about this ball being so much different than the other ball. And there is a difference because this ball here is much lighter than the other ball, the original ball that goes with this set. So if I was to use the other ball, it's a lot harder to draw and read the stuff. Now, I'm using the Carmelli, which is the all ivory. It's a 12-point ivory cue up and down, ivory joint, ivory ferrule, leather wrap, ivory butt cap with turquoise. Now, I was having a lot of trouble addressing the ball before. I was miscuing a lot and a lot, but I found that this now is grabbing a whole lot better, this cue ball and stuff, so the draw is going to be super easy. And because of that, I'm going to be able to read it better. Draw becomes a problem when you have to hit it hard to draw it back, because now most of the time you overhit it and it just runs away from you. So you have to be careful of that. So when you're drawing, you really don't want to have to use a very hard stroke. You really want to be able to just go with your technique and set up accordingly. Now here's a situation here where I'm stuck in the middle of the table. This is going to be my first opportunity to use this as a jumper. And I like to do stuff with technique. Everything that I do, I like to go technically with it. My front leg I'm going to step forward with as close to this shot as I can get. And then I'm going to bring my back leg way up and totally off the ground. I'm then going to set up nicely on this, and my eye is going to be on the one ball, just like that. Oh boy. All right. I've seen worse before, and I'll get used to it. But again, we want to approach stuff technically. So here again, all of these shots, whether they're hard or easy, I'm going to be working on the technique and the rhythm, so that my warm-up strokes have to be smart, that are going to lead to my final stroke. So open, close, open, close. Want to use very smart warm-up strokes. Now here the 4-ball is down here, 3-ball is here. So I want an angle to make sure I can get down here for the 4. So I have to be pretty slick here. And what I could do is I could slow roll this in, come off this rail and come up, leave a perfect angle for the 4. So that my warm-up strokes have to be smart. And I'm going to drive this in. See this? Now I got my perfect angle to get to the 4-ball. There's a couple of ways to go here. And one of them is I can straight draw right between the 7 and the 8. Because I got a new cue ball and stuff, I want to see if I can handle this. Drive it in. When you bring the cue back, you make sure you drive it forward afterwards. Oh boy. Here we go. Here's a good example. This is real basic, but this is critical in how you execute this. I want the 5 up the long corner because I have to get to the 6-ball. But I'm going to do it. I could easily go back up and down like this, but I'm going to, just for exercise purpose only, I'm going to run it 2 rails to come out to here. Let's see what it looks like. Not as good as I would have liked, but this will work, because I should be able to go rail, rail, and back to get shape for the 6. It's natural. And here I want to just put this into a roll. So my warm-up strokes have to be smart so that I go from here to here to come out for that 6-ball. Open, close, open, close. Okay, not too bad. And again, you just want to work on your rhythm. Here again, don't overhit this. Perfect. That's how to drive it in. I'm going to need to massage this a little bit, which is not a problem, except for position, of course. Now I'm in a very difficult situation because it's dead straight and I don't have a lot of room here, so I have to set up for a nice straight draw shot. The key to this is my body position. Again, I'm going to go one leg in front to get my body out of the way. Okay, it came up, but not as much as I needed, but still, should make this shot. Goes 1, 2, and back for position for the 9 in here. So that's the warm-up strokes. Drive it in. Perfect. Here again, we're going to drag this in, not hit it in, but drag it in, just like that. If I hit that, that ball won't go in. It'll deflect. But because I'm putting it into a top roll, once it hits that facing, it's going to grab it and go down, even though I hit it short. Okay, now I'm using this rack, which is not the Accu-Rack. And again, this brake cube is fitting me. I'll only hit a few balls with it, but I can see that I'm going to be able to pound these. And a lot of guys, they have a finesse brake, and that's very effective, like Edu.Pool. But I have a powerful brake, and that's going to be my advantage, to be able to use it. So we're using our legs here, and you can see this is going to be a very good brake once I get a good spot to line up to, because that cue ball is not going anywhere. All right, now we can drop this in the side, the 2 balls down on the rail. Once I make good shape, the 3 goes up the long rail and the rack's over. So good warm-up strokes that make sense. Drive it in. Oh boy, I didn't want to do that. I'm going to kick at it. I'm going to try and kick it in and try to get position here. And this is a shot I'm going to come close to making. Although it looks ridiculous, it is, because I would play safe. But right here, we're just going to exercise the kick game. Now I can go in the side with this, or I can go in the long corner. I'm going to go in the side with it because it's shorter, and going up the long corner in my condition is probably a better choice, I guess. Alright, well, I wanted an angle that break open the 4-5 here, so let's see if we can get back to the same angle. We're going to go with some inside English here, and just come right straight back and hold that angle. Because right here, if I can get inside the 6, I don't really need to. So I could probably cut it in and go around 3 rails. So that's what I'll do. Drive it in. I'm going to have to bank it now. That's a bad shot right there. Now here I can play it cross side and control it, or go cross corner. But either one of them I should make. I'm going to go cross corner and try to get some shape that way. Drive it in. If you're going to miss, that's the way to miss it. That's a good choice, because if you miss, you've got to leave tough. All right, would I play safe here, or would I go for it? I'd probably go for it. I'd probably play the bank. This is why you got to have a good bank game. You got to make, you got to make those banks. Oh, you got to come better than that, that's for sure. Here we go. Again, we're just developing rhythm right now. That's all we need. Once we get that, then we're not thinking anymore. You're just playing. I'm going to 3-rail this around. play a 2-ball shot. Okay, now we're going to go around with it. And again, this here is just touch, feel, and calculate. See this? Perfect. You want to do that nice and calculate your speed. Kicking is all about speed and spin. Alright, now that we know we got a big break, now we have to figure out how to make a ball. Now a lot of times people are asked about how do you make these adjustments. Adjustments are made by being softer with your hands or tighter. So you have to have good hands. You have to know how to soften up your hand. And now in my last break, it didn't look like any ball was going to go in. So I'm going to make an adjustment, and I'm going to go to this side, and I'm going to see what the break will look like. But again, be very important to watch your touches. See, that's a good break right there. And the reason why is that cue ball is sitting. And when that cue ball sits like that, eventually I'm going to find the spot to make these balls. And that's how you put your packages together. Drive these in. Oh, God. Okay, I got a jump shot. Now, I don't know. I probably could go with this full cue. But I'm going to break it down. And because it's got the unilock, it's going to be real quick to get at it. Now I shouldn't miss this, that's for sure. So what I'm going to do, very light in the back, just like this. Once I set up here, then my eyes are on the 1 ball. Look at this, are you kidding me? Well, that wasn't too bad, I'm going to get used to it. But it cleared it, no problem, and it just hit the back of the pocket and came back out. But again, technique, technique, technique. Now when the ball's hanging up in the corner like this, that's the 2 ball. The 3's down here, this is the 1. What I want to do is make sure I get as close to this as possible. That's going to help me to get position here. I don't want to be too far away here. So I'm going to do everything I can to get as close to this 2 balls as possible. So let's see what it looks like. See, that'll work. Because now getting to the 3 ball is not going to be, you know, difficult. And that's the key to getting close to the 2 ball. That's why you do that. And look how easy now this becomes. Here I am a little bit straight. It's going to show how I can get a little bit draw on these balls. So I'm going to play for the 5 in the side. Not even close. And again, you don't want to be short with your follow through. It has to be long and out there, out to the ball. That's just being in bad form right there. Let's see what this looks like. Okay, I got to make those banks. Here again, let's set up nice technically. Where do we want that 5 ball? I think it's going to end up in that corner. Let's see how we do. Nope. Again, a little sloppy. Not set up nice. Let's see what this looks like. That was pretty. Very nice. That's the technique. Here we go. Very nice. Again, everything done technically with smart bridge work. Beautifully done. A little bit long here, it's going to be costly. Let's see what happens. I'm going to kick at it. That's what's going to happen there. Alright, we're way far away from our work. Let's see the bridge work here and what position we're going to play. Excellent. Get out to the ball nicely. Here I'm going to come short for shape. Again, beautifully done. This is subtle stuff right here, but if you're the opponent, you're getting the message real clear here that all of a sudden the feel, the touches, and the soft stuff is starting to get control. You don't want to be hitting balls too hard when you need to hit them soft. And you don't want to hit balls too soft when you need to hit them hard. So you got to pull the trigger, basically. But this break is dominating. I've already exploded these balls 2 times, one on that side, one on this side. Eventually, I'm going to find the spot. Perfect. Corner ball went right in. I'm now lined up. Oh boy. Let's kick at it. Again, calculate, 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 and pull the trigger. Oh, shoot. That was too hard. I lost a little speed there. Let's kick it in the side. Okay, it should be over now. This is an easy run from here. Let's see how we do. Gonna need a bridge. If I can get my belly out of the way, I'd be all right here. Fat. Too fat. Gotta lose a few pounds. All right, what do we got here? 4 ball is over here. 2 ball is here. So let's see what we're going to do for shape. I could play for the cross side, which isn't a bad choice because should be able to bank this. I don't know, I got myself a little weird, but practice these because these are important to make, these banks. They're going to set everything up for you, so you got to do a lot of bank work. Here we go. See, that's the kind of touch right there that once you get your touches in order, this is big stuff right here. See this? Once you start controlling your angles, then the shots are going to be automatic. Here we go. Perfect. Yeah. See, the key to 9 ball is putting packages together. So in order to do that, first thing you got to do is get the break down. Now I've lined up for the break. I have a good spot to break from. Now it's going to be about putting these runs together, getting these patterns and holding the angles. So that my workload is going to be very light, hopefully. Huh. Not even close, huh? Yeah, terrific break jump cue. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. This Purple Heart shaft and the 8 splice. But by the way, this shaft is 8 spliced Purple Heart as well. Very stiff. All right, here I am. I lined up over here. Watch that corner ball. Okay, that's big. too good. Gotta make that. Here's the bank. You gotta make those banks. Now, nice manipulation here, and that's done by the backhand. Beautiful spins. Okay, good try. Gonna have to cut this in. Again, got in trouble with this. Now, if I was playing in a tournament, I'd be looking for a safety. So let's do that and see how we end up with here. I am going to bank it, but there is safety in mind here. Oh, what's this all about? I played it into that, but not to go in here. Okay. All right, here we go. Let's see the shape here for that 5 ball. Nice. Here we got to stop it, so I'm going right into the 8. Oh God, not that. All right, here's a toughie. What are we going to do here? Oh boy. I'm going to play to get behind the 7 ball. Let's see how we do. Okay, that's the kind of execution you got to be able to do. Beautifully done there. That's good, strong defense. Now I have to come with a nice shot. Let's see if we can cut it in. Okay, we hit it, but not on the right side, so I left a shot. Now here you want to get on your fingertips. When I say fingertips, that means the top of your fingertips. Backhand as well. That's going to allow me to get this shot straight, just like this. With that technique, you will be able to hit that ball straight and get a lot of feel. Very important technique there. Now here, anytime you pass the side, don't come to the table without an extension. Put your extension on. I still can't draw the ball. I need to change tips. Now here, when the ball's off the rail by that much, you want to try and cut it in. Now I can cut it in the left corner or the right corner. I'm going to cut it in the left corner and play 4 rail positions. 1, 2, 3, 4. Play the 8 in the corner. Oh, look out. And again, if you're going to miss it, well, that was pretty bad, so. Here we go. I'm just going to 2-rail it out. That's it. Nope. Okay, the warm-up strokes weren't too good there because I wasn't on aim. Again, I only like the 1 stroke anyhow. I don't use a lot of warm-up strokes, tell you that. 1 stroke, if I'm lined up, I'm ready to go. All of these shots, I don't take much time. And you shouldn't. Once you're lined up, you get your spot, put it away. No scratches on the break. Every break has been a powerful break. And that's key. That's stuff that you can work on. You're not going to be able to just get on the table and all of a sudden you're going to be lined up. It's always work to get lined up. And this is the process. It's not an overnight success story. Very confident with the hit, so I'm going to stay with a good spot here. I know I'm not scratching, and I know I'm going to pound them. I'm not going to get a break end ball, huh? Okay. Again, excellent cue ball handle. It's good stuff to work with. Again, this should be a very easy run out. This is how you put your packages together. You get these easy runs. Here, you want to stroke this out. Get over the 6. Perfect. Now I got a little weak there. That's going to cost me, but I'm going to spin this in with good technique. See this? Beautifully done. And again, I'm going to do the same thing here. Perfect. These are the touches that you got to learn, the little soft technical shots. All of this stuff here that looks easy, and it is. Here we go. Oh man, quitting on it. Can't make it if you quit on it. And again, use the nice little soft techniques to get your angles. Again, you want to practice all of these shots. This shot can be played many ways, but to bridge it easily, we just go like this. I'm going to miss this. That was sloppy. See, I can't miss any of these. Got to make this at a 90% rate. How'd I hit it? Perfect. And again, let those angles carry. Don't over English balls either. If you got an angle, that's going to give you English. Oh, that's part of calculating. Now again, making those subtle, soft touches in your hands is going to be key on the break. Notice I haven't been making a ball. I move directly in, almost with a little bit of angle here. Let's see what happens. Perfect break. What a beauty. Get in, 9-ball. That's a great break. This is how you put packages together. Now you just execute off the break. Let's see how we do. How'd I hit it? Not too good. It's okay. Here we go. Wow. I'm not getting as good action as I'd like, but I believe it's the tip more than anything. Here we go. Gently push it in. Okay. And again, the break is putting me in position to win the match. It's up to me now to get the job done executing these runs. Once I get into a good, better rhythm, then I'm going to be able to put racks together pretty easily, especially in races to 11. Going to be able to put 2 and 3 packages together every set. That's critical. Let's see, I like where it was just about here. Perfect. You don't want that coming at you, folks. All right, this is a tough run out because I can't make this one, can I? I don't know. It looks like I can bank it, that's for sure. So let's bank it. Hit that. Oh, no, it might still go. And it did. Here we go, that's perfect. Should be good. Let's see, up, it's gonna fall off a little here. It's okay. Oh boy. Oh boy. Yeah, that's just not in shape. Here we go. Let's see how this looks. That's perfect. Just gotta get used to playing, you know. You're not gonna just step up and play good pool. Not in a condition like this either. But what you gotta do is practice. The more you play, of course, the better you're gonna get. Let's see how we do for shape here. Oh boy. Not too bad. The technique was pretty good. Let's see what this looks like. Perfect. That's good stuff. Not great, but it was good. Let's see what this looks like. Perfect. Beautiful hit. Beautiful speed, too. It's not hard enough so it can't scratch. That's the key on that shot. Okay, let's go around with this. Check it out. Look how nice this is going to look. I'm going to hit it off the fourth rail and it ain't going nowhere. Good one pocket shot. Here we go. All right. I'd give you the horse today to bet in the fifth race. It's the one horse. And the horse is from New Zealand at Plain Ridge Raceway. But I don't expect it to pay anything. But the owner will be there, and he's a horse buyer and stuff. He's went over 580 races, lifetime. I mean, big time owner. Always nice to spend time with people like that, invested heavily in the industry, the horse industry. So as you can see, I'm bombing the break. It don't really matter where I'm sitting on this table. This is going to be a beauty. Again, that's a beauty. Yeah. This kind of control of the cue ball with that kind of power, that's how you can win a lot of matches really fast. Well, let's see if we can get through this rack. Here's a tricky position play. Perfect. Beautiful touch there. Gorgeous. Oh, man. I'm all right, but I don't want to draw it that much. Let's go fingertips. That's what's going to make this a straight shot in for me. Beauty. Here we go. Oh, man. What in the world was that? Huh. Okay. I don't know what happened there, but got way off on it for some reason. I don't even have position here either. All right, let's see what we do here. Very important shot. I'm going to kick off this one rail. I'm going to kick right into this 7. I'm going to try to make it in the side. If I don't, I want to bring it down to here. Let's see what it looks like. Uh-oh. Now I left a shot. Not a good kick there either. Here we go. Drive this in. Don't let this shot play you. All right, I let it play me, that's for sure. Not really. That's what happens. You try to use inside English on a cut shot like that, forget it. Go with no English. Drive them in with no English. Again, that was too rough, and I didn't have good bridge work there. Remember, we never lose, we always learn. If you miss a ball, whacking your cue is not going to help you. Matter of fact, I talked to Mark Griffin about that. He was telling me about the attitudes of players and how bad they are, blah, 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 blah. And I said to him, look, you want to enforce something, don't ban anybody. Banning doesn't work. First, hit them with a fine, then hit them with a, you whack the cue on the table. I said, Mark, $25. Next time they do it, it's $100. Next time they do it, it's $500. Next time they do it, then you might want to look at possibly a ban. Hit him in the pocket, that will stop quickly. Here we go. But you're not going to be able to tell him to stop it, and it ain't costing him nothing, because that won't work. It never did anyhow. Here we go. You hit him in the pocket, there'll be no more of that. So, he was listening. I don't know how he felt about it, but one thing's for sure, he's not going to get involved in a tour or a league with the pros. Although Ozzy is actually running the show anyhow for CSI now. His Mark, of course, had that major lung double transplant operation. So he don't need to spend the rest of his life arguing and fighting. Here we go. Again, this break is monstrous. I'm just bombing them. I mean, there's balls, they gotta go in. That's a beauty. Let's see if we can put the run together. That's the problem right now, but this time we're gonna try a little bit harder. Oh boy. Alright. Here we go. How'd I hit it? Pretty good. As you can see, very quickly this rack's over. See this? Oh man, what am I doing? Here we go. We can't be missing all the time, but let's see what we're going to come up with here. Very tricky shot. Nice. Once you get loose, once you feel confident, then you'll be able to put these packages together very quickly and consistently. So that's why you want to work on technique. You don't want to work hard, you want to work smart. Let's put it that way, because you got to preserve your energy in these events. You want to be the closer, you don't want to be the guy out of gas. And this is how you do it. When you got a big break, use it. It's like a fastball in baseball if you're a pitcher. There's another beauty. Get in 7. Oh boy. It's a good break though. Just didn't make a ball. Let's see if we can run the rack though. Here we go. Not a chance hitting it like that. Look at this. Oh my God, I don't think I can even make this. No, I couldn't. Yeah, I couldn't even make that ball. I'm going to kick at it. Let's see what it looks like. Boy, it went in? Really? All right, when it's in the middle of the table like this and you're a righty, you go left-handed. Use a cup bridge. Should be no problem. It was no problem if I aimed it up. All right, here we go. Here's where the control comes in. Let's see how we can finesse and finagle the bagel. Now, if I go 2 rails right into the 8, that'll be pretty good. So that's what I focus on. See this? Play right into that 8 ball. Perfect. Yeah, it is perfect. It's right on the 8. Holy Toledo, Ohio. This is unreal. Let's see if we can spin it in though, which we did. Now here we're just going to slop it, not slop it in, I'm going to roll this in. And because these balls are close together, I'm going to be able to get this rolling right away. That's all I got to do is stroke out to this ball. If I even come close, it's going in. And it falls for shape, so you don't do too much with the cue ball. See this? Again, this is all automatic now, but nice soft techniques here. Right here, for example. Be real soft with it in your backhand. Here again, a couple of ways to go. I'm just going to spin it in. Very nice. That's an interesting technique, especially under heavy pressure. Here we go here. See what this looks like. I'm going to hit it. No, I ain't either. Here we go, fingertips, and just pinch it in. The higher you get up on your fingers, the more feel. So the top of your fingers is where the most feel is. So when you're shooting a shot like that where you kind of don't have any feel, you just know you need to be on your fingertips. And then you'll get the feel and you'll be able to handle that shot. And again, if you've got a cue stick that fits you, that's really important. It's like a pair of shoes. I mean, if you've got a nice pair of shoes from Clark's, but they don't fit you, they're no good to you. So when you pick a cue stick, it's not what it looks like, it's the fitting. And when you get a custom cue, you should get it to the dimensions that you're gonna like. Because right now, I can break from anywhere, I'm gonna bomb these racks, one after the other, for sure. See what I mean? Now there, I got a bad break. Can't help that. But this is how you put packages together without exerting a lot of energy. When you're breaking big like this, these racks go by and bing, boom, boom, you're already beating the guy 5-0. And even if you're behind, you can now catch up so easily. Because these are just elementary, my dear Watson. Here we go. Get out of my way, 9-ball. Here, I'm going to use a little finesse to get up for the 8. Perfect, beautifully done. A little sloppy. But again, here I can just spin it in. Nice touch. And again, when you're close to the ball, get out to the ball, put it into a roll. Once you do that, once it hits the facing, it's in. Just like that. So the key is putting it into a roll, a top roll, so that when it hits the facing, it grabs it and drops it in the pocket. A lot of times you get information that's kind of a little misleading. You hear a lot of times where, well, if the pockets are tighter, it's better for the best players because they always hit the middle of the pocket and they should be forced to hit the middle of the pocket, and these are the guys that hit the middle of the pocket. I can tell you for a sure fact, nobody tries to aim for the middle of the pocket. They try to finesse and use the space that's available to them in the pocket, and they finesse using that. Never are they aiming for the middle of the pocket just to aim for the middle of the pocket. It's always going to be finessing going on with that. And as long as the pocket has room, they're going to use the facing, they're going to use the back of the pocket, it depends. but they're going to use the whole pocket. Here we go now. I scratched last time. This time I can't afford that, so let's see what happens. Perfect. Now I can always come with a big safety too. Doesn't always have to play, you know, you're going to run out. But with my billiard background, something like this, I'm going to play the 9 and the 1 cross side. I would bet on me, for sure, making that ball. See what I mean? And there's a quick 2 games. Very quick. You don't even know what hit you. Now here I hit a perfect shot. Oh, gee, it almost scratched. But I kept the speed up so I wouldn't scratch. Here, fingertips. See this? Watch the straightness now and grabbing those facings and dropping them in. Here we go. Now you're seeing why I've won tournaments just on the break. And I've won many matches just by outbreaking the guy. So important in 9-ball. And if you're playing all the time, putting these runs together when you break big is not a big deal. It's actually, you know, look how fast 2 games just went. You're not going to get much quicker than that. And then you know you're going to pound the next break coming at the guy. So this is a fabulous break jump cue. I'm very fortunate to have a sponsor that makes such quality products. It's amazing. Simonis, give me a break. Kamui, Dominiac, Castillo, Leather Good. I mean, this is high quality stuff. Here we go. You don't want that coming at you. Kick it in. Again, look at the easy run out I had. That ball just missed too. But again, these are easy patterns to work with. Let's see what it goes. See what it looks like. Easy, easy, Bubba. Oh, man. Oh, boy. Now, I normally like to massage these. And the reason why is if you give me any room to work with here, I'll finesse it. That's for sure. Okay? Oh, man, I missed it, though, that time. I'm a little out of form, but still, you could see how much I could turn that. It was still pretty good. Here, I'm just going to play a safety. Now I get to run out. 7/8 tied up. So I'm going to look at that. I'm going to say when I come off the 6, I can draw it back up, play the 7 in the side. So I want to make the 5, get an angle for the 6 so I can get to the 7. Let's put the run together. Here we go. Now here I'm going to come really long here, like this. Just like this. Little angle so that I can get to the 6 properly to get to that 7 ball. Let's see what it looks like. Perfect? Yes. I can break them up now, and that's what I'm going to do. One of the things about, oh my goodness. Here I go. I'm going to twist it in. No, I ain't either. Okay. All right, I'm going to leave that there. Let's see. I'm going to go around the world on this, make that 7 ball. Here again, roll it in. This is a natural. Now, for me to miss this shot, I'm like 90% to make this. Oh, man, I missed it. Unbelievable. Huh. That ball ball just cut too short. And that speed there was too hard, although I was so confident that I overhit it. Now, let's see why now remember, if you can break from anywhere, I'd be breaking from here. But I'm breaking from here, a very short box, 8 inches from either side. But if I had, like down at Derby, if I was in the 9-ball tournament at Derby, I'm breaking from right here, and I'll bomb these racks from here. Because angle is power. And when you go straight on, that cuts the power down. It's like two cars, when they collide, they got nowhere to go when you hit them. You give an angle, and you watch the difference here. This is the command performing angle that I will command the match. Give me angle, and now I'll stop parking the balls, controlling them. Okay, we're snookered here, so it comes to a break. Look at how easy this pattern is. All right, now we're going to try this jump cue out, and again, we got a unilock on the second part of this. Again, we put our front leg in front, we bring the back leg up heavy, and here we go. Oh man, I gotta make that. You gotta execute these jump shots, although that wasn't easy. But it's not a question of easy. If you're gonna shoot it, you gotta make it. Let's put the run together now. The 3's sitting here. I want a little bit of an angle so that I can get from the 2 to the 3. Once I do that, the rack's over. So where do I want to be? I'm going to sneak, rail, and I'm going to come out, play into the 6 ball actually, or the 7. If I hit either one of those balls, that's going to give me good position. Let's see what it looks like. I need my angle to get from the 2 to the 3. I've achieved that. That's the rest of the rack is elementary now. Now it's all about going through the motions. Once you fall on that angle, it's like playing checkers. The rest of it's elementary. All I got to do is go through the motions. This isn't a good shot. It's a little too hard. A little too hard. I don't even know what I'm doing down here. Here we go. Again, just finesse all these balls in, getting good firing positions. Here, the 8 goes in the side. I'm going to play the 9 ball here. Off the cue. It's a good try. Got a good powerful shot. Again, go with your fingertips here. See this? That's what's enabling this to go straight. So get on your fingertips, which is your very, very end of your fingers, is your fingertips. Not almost to the end, the end. Similar to bowling, they have balls that are drilled. And you've heard fingertip. Full fingertip. Okay, now I'm going to show you why angle is power. Now, all I'm doing is zooming right into this rack. This is very, very powerful stuff here. Here we go. See that? See how the cue sits right down? With this angle, the cue ball handle is going to be a lot easier. Although, I didn't make a ball. Here we go. I got to get my act together. I'm too sloppy. I got the combination here. kick it up would be nice. Perfect. That should be out now. You can see that shot's going to lead to all this easy stuff now. Now I need to get this 4-ball. I'm going to go to the corner with it, not the side. And that's going to set me up for the 6 back and forth. I'm going to pound this in or I'll roll it in. I'm going to roll it in. Either way you can play. Now here I want to get close to the 8. So I'm just going to pop this and just try to roll it up in there. Now that's a little further away than I'd like, but it's still okay. Here we go. I don't know if I held it. Let's see. That'll work. I won't even shoot that one. Going to stay down on these shots a little bit longer than normal when you're in practice. Because if you keep jumping up in practice, when you play for real, you're going to be jumping like Bugs Bunny. All right. That's a good one. I gotta make nothing. I thought I hit it good too. You can see the spread's like Metza. It's good, but I actually thought I broke those pretty good. Now when you got the balls hanging in a corner like that, I'm going to play the 1 ball in the corner. That's going to give me my position. I'm going to kiss it in off the 9. Okay, I got a little wider than I wanted here, which is going to force me to kiss into these. I can miss the kiss and try to come around 3 rails. Nope. Oh boy. Alright, what do we got here? Now I could just spin this with Marseille or play safe. Now if I were playing for real, I would play safe, of course. And actually the best shot here is to kind of drive this 2-ball down. What I'm going to do is I'm going to spin this a little. A lot of guys would try to thin this. I definitely don't like thinning this. I like thick hitting it, going rail, bringing that 2-ball down here, and using the 4 and the 7 as blockers. Let's see what it looks like. And that's how to play that safety. You don't want to thin it because if you miss-hit it, you lose the game. Plus, even if you do hit it thin, you don't really have a lot going. You can see here how beautiful this safety is. I mean, I don't have anything now. Although, we're going to go new jump cue and play the 9-ball, that's for sure. So let's see what it looks like. Again, we're going to step into it with our front leg, bring our back leg way up. I'm going to make this. Oh, no. Well, I overhit it. That just immediately tells me that I'm not adjusted. Not adjusted. But it's jumping. I mean, it hit the 1 and I'll get used to it. I'm not used to using such little effort to get over the ball like that, but oh well. Got to execute those. Here we go. Let's put the run together. Again, a lot of finesse with fingers, wrist, spinning. Here we go. Okay. Now I can play this a couple of different ways. Just for practice, I'm going to cut it in, play the 3-rail shape. And again, not too good. I don't like the speed there. It's very timid. Can't do that. Again, I kept it short. I'm going to play this in off the 9. This one's going to give me position. Nice, I two right on the side. That's a pretty good shot. Huh. And the reason I was playing it off the 9 was to get position, plus I thought it would break up the cluster, but if I'm in shape, I'm going to hit it better than that. Let's see how I do for position and what bridge work. See this? And again, you don't want to be timid on these shapes. You really want to command them. Now I can play the billiard here, and that's what I'm going to do. This is why you want to grow up playing this game. Oh, that ain't going in. Oh, man. I only got to lose about 35 pounds. Because right now, you can't come into the pit and expect to beat Alex Pat Ryan when you're overweight. It's not going to happen. It's very difficult. Difficult sport, period. Now again, if the higher I stand up, these are all subtle adjustments. Watch the adjustment I make now. It's going to be on my height. And I'm just going to go with a heavy cue ball and good timing. That's it. Just like that. And hope to bop one of these in. Again, it's a good spread. It's an easy run out. But I'm working on the break. It's not, you know, I'm putting the 9 on the spot. The reason they put the 9 on the spot is to make it difficult to make a ball. Again, fingertips right there. Oh, okay. All right, let's get shape. Finesse. Just like this. See, that's a pretty shot. I would like to be a little bit more confident with it, because that's a pretty shot. Here again, want to be able to really spin this nice. Oh, give me a break. That wasn't too good. Here we go. Nice. You want to stroke them in, not aim them in. Here we go. Perfect. We're going to stroke them in. All right, now notice the 6 ball. We want to get close to this so that we can shade for the 7. See this? This is going to allow me to get to the 7 ball a million times easier from here than if I'm back here. Here again, I can go any which way I want. In this case, I'm going to go rail, rail back, play the 8 in the side, and let my stroke out. See this? Now I should make this, although I've missed it every time, and I missed it again. Oh, I made the billiard, but what good is it? I didn't get position. Okay. I learned a lot. I went to Super Billiard Expo, had meetings with the Joy Table owners, went through all of this malarkey and everything. Really took in a lot of stuff, what they were saying and everything, and realizing how important it is for us to support Made in America. I almost made a big mistake, but I do believe the condition of that table, you know, I mean, I don't know if Diamond can make a table like that, but if we could have a whole new league, a whole new approach to standard equipment. Number one, we won't be looking at mongrel equipment that's just too common, and it's a very tough condition. I don't know. Here we go. Now, when I could break from anywhere, I broke a couple of times on that side and I wasn't effective. So I'm going to move all the way over to this side, also using a lot more than 8 inches from the spot, and this is giving me good angle. This is going to be a bomb. I can see that the angle's going to work. See that? Oh, I just missed that kiss in. All right. See, it's a good break, and I should run these, so we'll see. Uh-oh, it looks like I got to use my jump cue. Okay. Now this is pretty close, but I should execute this. But again, you can't scratch. Let's go with step on it with the front leg, back leg up. I own this shot. Definitely. No way I was missing that baby. Although I didn't do too much on the draw there. Okay. Now when you get in a situation like this, don't be afraid to use similar stuff like this. Okay. Good try. All right, let's put this run together nicely. Again, all finessing here. We're going to finesse these balls in, use smart warm-up strokes. Here we go. Beautiful. That's good stuff, although I missed it. Let's see the shape coming off here. Perfect. That's the angle. Now let's see how nice I can get on the 6 here. Here again, look at this beautiful stroke. That's how to do it, right like that. See how I held this angle for the 6? You want to get these touches. That's the key. You can see how I set the rest of this rack up. All because of that one angle. Want to see a little bit more revolutions than that, but oh well. I think I'm going to break and run these if I get a shot at the 1. We're going to go on this side. Should be good. Perfect. No, not even close. Huh. That didn't do nothing. Here we go. Now I can cut this in, or I can play safe. Obviously, the safety would be, there's a couple of safeties here, but the key safety here was to drag the 1 ball back and forth. No problem. But then I want to drop that cue ball on the bottom rail behind the 4 ball if I can. Let's see what it looks like. Now that's good defense. Not great, but good. Let's see how I come out of this. Now I'm going to play the 5 ball here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to play cue ball, rail, ball, and then I'm going to head right towards this 5 ball. And that's the shot. Oh no. Well, I hadn't chalked up in a while. I never do this, by the way, bring the cue ball back. Wow, that had no chalk at all on it. Okay. But I just want to show the shot. It's a billiard shot. I'm just going to play it off the bottom rail. Just like that. Bring the cue ball down towards the 5. Nothing big. Here's the combo. Let's see what it looks like. Perfect. And that's the technique there. Beautifully done. Off the rail, nice. Should be able to put a run like this together very quickly. Here I can go on the side with it. This is because of the soft techniques I've been using. I'm able to finesse that. Here we go. That's the reason I wanted to play the deuce on the side, so that I could play shake to the 3 to the 4. And here I'm going to get a little funny with the cue ball, with the backhand, just like this. And that puts me perfect to get down for the 9. Very good. Here I'm going to 2-rail it. And again, we don't want to hit it like we're missing it. Not too, didn't really like that. Alright, I'm going to kick this in. Got to come short. I made it. No, I didn't. Oh, God, I'm loosening my grip. Here we go. I'm going to go around 3 rails, just like this. Now I'm going to go around, and I'm going to kick it in here. Should make it. Not today. Maybe tomorrow. Anyhow, this is my last shot of the day. Let's see how we do. Perfect. Okay. Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it. And more than anything, my condolences go out to Barry Berman's family, Brady, Shannon. Definitely our hearts are hurting. There's no way we can, there's no way we're not hurting. We're hurting with you. As you cry, we cry, because Barry was such a big part of the game. It was such a big part of promoting. Who put $75,000 in? Nobody. Nobody. He didn't have the money to put in, but he did it anyhow. He did whatever he could. That was for the players. So although there was a lot of complaints about the players, you just can't, you know, you can't really complain about what he did, you know. I have a package that's supposed to be going to Taiwan. It's taken so long, and the thing is not getting there. Sorry to hear that. But anyhow, thank you so much. I'll see you tomorrow. And again, you know, we're all with broken hearts. No question about it. He's going to be missed. Only 70 years old. You know, Barry was a little older than me, and he was in really good shape, believe it or not. He really was. So thank you, Troy. God bless you. And thank you for all your help in our industry. We really appreciate it. So we'll see you tomorrow, folks. I love you. And share your love, please. God bless you.